Hello everyone, my name is Brian, this is Football Manager 22, and we're back in Salisbury. As you might be able to tell from the big green bar in the top right of our favorite club vision screen, things are going well, at least in the board's opinion. Now that's because their goals for us in league play this year are incredibly low. Despite the fact that we were just in the Premier League last year, their only goal for us in the Championship is to avoid relegation. Yes, that's right. We were good enough to be a Premier League team last year, and now they want us to not be in the bottom three of 24 teams. Seems off. Obviously, our reputation is very poor, as we checked it at the end of last episode, I believe, and it hasn't changed due to the relegation. We sit at about 2.5 stars. Basically, have the reputation of a mid-tier League One side, which as a championship team / Premier League team, it's not great in terms of attracting outside talent. At least when we were in the Premier League, we could hawk that and pitch players on it, but not so much in the championship. They're less enticed to play in a top 20 league as opposed to the top league. Everything else is going pretty well. We're well within budget. We made the fourth round of the Carabao Cup thanks to a 0-0 draw with Leicester City in the third round, I believe, that we won on penalties and then lost in the fourth on a 1-1 draw that we lost on penalties. And yeah, so the overall board's very happy. Some of my performances, our performances, less so. But so, how have we constructed the team? It's been difficult because, I appreciate James as my most loyal and true follower, viewer, James, and the only one of you guys who actually talks to me. This is like, Brian, you have $69 million. Nice. And $20 million in payroll budget. Like, surely you'll be able to upgrade the team, and a little, but like not hugely. In terms of the transfer history, we need to go back to the end of last year, since most things were still in the books last year. I found this young kid from Slovenia. He is technically poor. All he's good at is passing, but physically he's amazing. His worst stat is an 11 balance and strength, and everything else is 14s, 15s, 16s, and 17s. So he's fast. His mentals are all right too. That 18 bravery, 12 aggression, 12 work rate, 14 teamwork. Those are all solid things. He doesn't need to have great off the ball or composure, vision. Those things are nice, but if he's either center back or right back, so he doesn't need those as much. So his muscles are fine. But yeah, his technicals are. His tackling needs work. You just love to see double digits over there on the key stuff, on tackling, on marking. If he's just going to play center back, just even those two, and heading, he is 6'1" and has 14 jumping reach, so he can play center back. But, he needs to hit those key attributes, at least double digits, to play center back. And if he's going to play right back, you want to see that crossing, the dribbling, the first touch also come up there. And those are 8, 8, 9, so he has potential to play in both spots. He just needs to develop those technical skills one way or the other. But at 19, he was definitely worth $1.2 million. As you can see, his market price for having moved to us and been showcased a little is already around $10 million. And then we bought Fabio Torres from Leeds. He's a Portuguese, mostly a center back. He's 6'2". His physical profile is solid, but not amazing. 12 pace, 10 acceleration. I still want to keep pushing those higher. Part of the problem is we're just getting outrun by those gazelles, the strikers at the top level, who will have incredible pace, and we just did not have the horses to run with them. Torres won't be able to do either, but it's good enough at this level, and better than Karim El Omari, who, if we look at the right side of the screen, we'll be able to see there soon. Again, solid mentals, and his technicals are, as you can see, the double digits and all the key stuff. 12s, 14 in heading. Apparently not training well, or training too hard. I'm not quite sure exactly why he's headed on a little downslope, but yeah, he should Yeah, it's fine. So definitely an adequate starter next to Cumming for now. We did sell Karim El Omari, who we'd lent out to Raja Casablanca last year after a couple months, because that combination of pace and acceleration, in particular the acceleration, was just death in the Premier League. But we signed this guy for free. He was a free deal from Willem too, and we sold him for 5.25. We had to pay a year's worth of salary. I'm sure we ate some fees, so it was probably kind of close to break even, not that much profit once you consider salary and everything. But I still think we came out ahead. And then, that was pretty much it in terms of we brought in a developmental center back, right back, and a new center back. And so we sold off Gerard Casey to Tranmere. I thought his development had kind of peaked. His mentals aren't amazing. They're good in a few things, but not overall good enough. And I just had better right wing prospects that I wanted to spend time with and on. But again, we got him for free, so that was fine. We managed to loan out Brad Blomgren. I'm happy about that. I think he's got potential. He's one of those players. It's kind of like Casey and Blomgren fighting with each other playing time. Melendrez as the emergency left back, right back. Good physicals and mentals, bad technicals. Underwhelming technicals, not bad. But, we sent him out on loan. We can recall him if somebody goes down for a long-term injury. But I figured it was better to keep him in form playing. Arthur Duncan got sold. His potential was definitely capped there. Usually his PA is 2, maybe a 3rd star. So, I'm pretty sure, again, we got him on a free off of Crystal Palace. He went out on loan twice, made a little money back, and then made us a tiny bit of money to Wimbledon. Was it worth the salary? Probably not, but you gotta kick the tires on guys like that. The unfortunate one here is Mike Klein. We'd bought him the previous year for about $750,000 from Brentford. Sorry, nearly $1 million from Brentford. He was very solid for us. A 6.79 seems bad, but it was actually one of the higher average ratings on the team, I believe. And so he was very solid. He's a bit older, didn't have a lot of development left in him at 26. But I wanted to keep him around. Unfortunately, he had a release clause, a pretty low one, at 1.1 million, that Krasnodar activated, and so we lost Mike Klein in the middle. But with all the players we'd had, and Thomas Green coming back in from loan, we'd loaned him out last year. He'd played in the championship and had played very well for Sunderland, so I was looking forward to actually playing him on the team, and so that kind of solved some of the issues. Also, Jack Vine, who played for us in the midfield last year again. I just had prospects I liked more, and so I moved them out for $750,000. And then we loaned out Crook and Hutchinson for free. It's aggravating last year, and the Premier League we were able to get considerable money, just actual profit for loaning players out. And then I struggled to get both Crook and Hutchinson loans this year, and ended up taking I'm paying their entire salaries. Now that's not huge salaries, luckily. But it's not what I wanted to do. We did have an injury to Baba Uda, our striker, reasonably early in the year, after about the first month, and it was for about 2 months, a hip flexor type injury. We sent him to specialist to get it fixed. He's just going to be back. This will be his first game back after one of the international transfer window, or the international play windows. So we needed a new striker. I couldn't just run out McNally up top and Samba Diallo at left wing with no backups for either. So I looked around and found Raitis Sepkauskas on loan from Celtic. 15 pace and accelerations. He's got good pace. Mentals are well lit up, and his technicals again are underwhelming in some aspects, marking and tackling, but he's a striker. What do we care? He's got 17 finishing. I wish his dribbling was better. It's only a 9, but what can you do? If he places the ball well and he's been solid for us in his work here. He's got 5 goals in 7 games, 7.31 rating. So how have largely been with the same team, a few key additions gone for us? Well, I'll give you the summary first. With a game in hand, we are just outside the playoff with 24 points. 26, 27, 31, 32, 33, all in 14 and 15 point games. We're on 13. We are still technically playing in Bournemouth. Our stadium was supposed to be complete by now. It has not completed, so we are still playing in Bournemouth for now. Hopefully it will be finished by the new year. That was roughly the projection. But in the week by week, kind of game by game analysis, we in our first 3 we drew all 3 of our road games, which is fine, but it's a bit underwhelming. We had better XG in all 3, and we lost this home game to Blackburn. Now Blackburn's a good team, but it's disappointing to lose a home game that we spanked Cardiff. To turn things around a bit there, 2 wins over Hull and Stoke in a row for losing to Sunderland on the road 2-3, and then losing to Derby on the road 2-3. I believe Derby's a good team and Sunderland isn't, so that was less than thrilling to lose both of those. But since then, we are on a hot streak against, admittedly, some of the worst teams in the division: Bolton, Swansea, Millwall, Middlesbrough. Win, all by 2. We are in an international window, or just coming out of it, so we booked games against Leeds and Millwall. Those were both wins. You can see our loss to Reading here in the EPL Cup. This went to 14 takers. Each team scored their first 8. And then our 9th taker missed, and then their 9th taker missed, were saved. Then our 10th taker was saved, their 10th taker saved, 11th both scored, then 12th at the top of the order both were saved, 13th both made, and unfortunately our 14th, aka our 3rd taker on the 2nd time, was saved, and we couldn't keep repeating that streak forever. It was a bit goofy. Penalties are too easy. No one misses them anymore. They sometimes get saved, but no one's just kicking it over the net like the bad old days. But anyway, so I've reserved a good game for us. It is Burnley. They are in 3rd. It is a home game, however. Didn't even look at that. We will actually look at the team when we go to the next page. Gossage and Falsic at wingbacks. Brenwan coming at center backs. Messin in the goal, obviously. I want to play Torres at... No, thank you. I will play McLean at defensive midfielder and Torres at center back. Green and Doyle in the more attacking midfield positions. Diallo, Sepkauskas, Mihalev. That's fine. We will bring Uda... Hopefully everyone should be fit enough that we can afford to bring Uda off the bench here late in the game to get him back in the feel of things. The schedule does get compact, and I believe we have a game in 3 or 4 days, so then we'll be able to rotate Sepkauskas off and Uda to start the next one. Graham Potter leads Burnley. Yeah, the media. We care about the media. But whatever. Sepkauskas plays back to McLean, out to Mihalev. Mihalev has been better. He's runs very hot and cold. He's had a couple of goals, including some penalties, since he's high on the penalty taker list. Okay, looks like Burnley here plays a 3 at the back formation. That's not ideal for us. We'll see how things go. Fausek will bring it up a bit and plays it into Sepkauskas. Plays it back out to Fausek as nothing develops for either of them. Plays it into Doyle. They're very busy in the midfield. Sepkauskas plays forward to Diallo. Good run. Left foots it off the goalkeeper. They dangerously play out the keeper, who clears it into the midfield, and that's where we went blank. So 3 at the back, 2 wing backs. Looks like a 2-1-2 after that. 2 center mids, an attacking center mid, and 2 strikers. No, two attacking mids and one striker. Interesting. Fausek will take the throw in. Doyle, relatively unmarked. Fausek then completely unmarked. Heads across. Mihalev looks it over his shoulder and lashes it into the goal one time for Kostadin Mihalev, the Bulgarian national, sometimes. Nice cross from Fausek. Mihalev spinning like a top. Good stuff. It looks like they got a little bit of press on, but we're gonna, if they're only gonna play that, yeah, the way they don't have the pressure on the outside, so that that press isn't gonna be amazing on the center back. So they're gonna have opportunities to play it out to Fausek and Gosic all the time. Fausek with a cross. Sepkowski gets his head on it, but unfortunately just right to the feet of Benda. In fact, I often do not do this. I let the game dictate where we play, but they are blocking up the center of the pitch with bodies, and conversely only have wingbacks on the side. So we just want to get the ball to the outside where they only have one true defender and are having other players try and float to create space, but they will be slightly out of position. Hopefully we can move the ball quickly down the edges as they aren't in the best position to intercept. Oh, come on, buddy. Well, that was disappointing. Mihalev did a good job at intercept, and Cumming just kind of thoughtlessly passes it back and reflexively instead of evaluating the situation. Like, there's no one on you, buddy. Just hold it and turn and pass it up to McLean. But I guess that's why he's a center back and not a more creative player. Also the fact that he's 6'8". Ayala plays out to Tavares. Gosic doing a good job staying with him. Not so much there. Mihalev retreats in. Easy header, though. Played it out to Cumming, and again, just play it out to Gosic. Into McLean, pings out to Mihalev. And looks like we're taking corner. Diallo will take it for us. Sends it in. Looking short. Torres can't get on it, and doesn't get to Cumming before they head it out. Mihalev on the quote-unquote wrong side of the pitch, as distributes to the center backs on the retreat. Coming up to Green. Green to Sepkauskas. McLean up to Streak and Green. Oh, Green, buddy, you gotta... I know you haven't been super effective, but you can't panic there and just play it out to Diallo, who's in a worse position than you are. You just gotta take that shot. Positioning not amazing there as they keep trying for Torres. There's that offsides I've complained about many a time. Let's try and get everyone hyped for the last 5 minutes of the half. Carry good energy into the half, maybe steal one, and make them tear up their halftime speech, as it were. They ping it forward, looking for Vandenberg. Assume the right wing back, yeah, all the way forward. Oh, great. Are they claiming Mihalev knocked that guy over? Mihalev's like 5'4", 120 pounds. Mihalev ain't knocking nobody over. It's nonsense. Messin completely goes the wrong way. Ugh. Well, now who's tearing up their script? Obviously, we had a huge problem with penalties last year. They haven't been really a problem this year. I believe that's the second, maybe third. It's more than you'd want, since you want none. But compared to last year, and given we're like a quarter of the way through the year, if we that bending ball from Kamari Doyle, good stuff to tie it back up, and maybe we will reassemble those notes we had written. But yeah, if this is the second one and it's quarter of the way through the year, we're on pace for 8, which again, not great, but is average. And as compared to last year's like 20, it's amazing How do you get like that many penalties when you're it's baffling? Baffling. Basically, the penalty is the sole reason they have an XG close to ours. We have been much better in that front. They've had 3 shots other than that. Yeah, so don't shove them down in our box or, let them flop and do it. Let's get revenge, boys. Come on. It's nonsense, these floppers. Milhev couldn't hurt a fly, literally. It's not in his ability to do so. Tavares plays it wildly across. Unfortunately, Fausek's header doesn't go to anyone in particular, and they pick it up. Pert Hams? Pert Hams. Fausek just tripped that guy. Luckily, it looks like we will not be carded for it. Ball will be played in a dangerous position, and just kind of through the box. Ayala unfortunately comes away with it, and that'll be a throw-in now. Just lots of mediocre set pieces there. All right, Fausek will do the throw-in to McLean. Doyle circles back to Gossage, tries to one-time it right into the defender. That probably didn't feel good for the defender, but it mostly just didn't look for us. Gotcha. It's with a good cross. Unfortunately, no one comes away with it. The ball headed out. Yeah, no, we don't come away with it. 55th minute. It looks like they're changing to a shorter passing style. That's fine by us. Green with the ball and looks for that outcutting player again, and nothing. Sorry, it's Pert Harris, not Pert Hams. But you can excuse my seeing RRI as M, because, it functionally is with a bonus dot. Bastrami with the cross off the corner. I was hoping Osago would make the mistaken pass there. Green does a good job way to come with the ball, plays it up to Sepkauskas. Unfortunately, doesn't have a great position to break with it. Green is interestingly gassing out. Looks like he played heavily probably for the Scottish U21s during the international break. We will probably bring on Ingolfsson for him and switch Doyle over to the attacking spot. Fausek with a good slide tackle. Unfortunately, doesn't come away with the ball. Doyle marking Vandenberg. Header. Messon saves. Okay. Yep. Exactly my thought, Phil Neville. Let us bring in Ingolfsson, and Doyle is the better attacking center mid. Other things to decide. Fausek is one of the more tired players. Let's go ahead and bring in Bruman. And maybe strangely, Diallo. He also isn't on the best performances. Let's try McNally in there. All right, those are our subs. We will hold off on Uda, and he will just start the next game. Torres, sure, mark that guy, and get a press in on Vandenberg and encourage the team. Let's get morale up here for this important closing stretch. Richard Cumming has taken on an injury. Brilliant. Potential lower leg injury. That's not good. So we are going to tuck Gossage in at center back. McLean can play right back, so we'll move him back there. We will drop Ingolfsson to defensive midfield. I'm flipping those. Doyle will play up there. Ingolfsson will drop back to defensive midfield. We will drop Kostadin back to a winging position since we'll be down 10 men. We will be just trying to ride out this draw. It's not pretty. I don't enjoy it, but I think it's the smart thing to do. Live to play another day. Dola intercepts, plays out to Sepkauskas. Sepkauskas plays out to McNally, and that's full time. Disappointing game in that we had superior XG and much superior when you consider one of theirs was on what seemed like a soft penalty if it was in fact in Mikhailev. boxing someone out away from the ball. Like, that guy's not knocking anyone over. Green has played much better than this. We saw some clips from him that were not very good. 6.9 is pretty average in terms of performance, obviously. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not terrible. Most other teams still did have a game, so we still do have a game in hand, which would put us into the lower ranks of the playoffs. And if we can tighten everything up, hopefully we can rally so that we don't even necessarily have to go through the playoff to make our way back in. Obviously, I believe in these guys. Okay, 6 to 10 days is not amazing, but we can. We don't need to start looking for a loan. 5 games unbeaten, 4 of them wins. Burnley is one of the better teams in the league, so that's cool. In terms of like upgrading the team, I have 2,145 scouting reports from last year. Players who are at least slightly interested in transfers, 1,126, and like they're 3 stars with some potential to have more stars, and a lot of them are older reports. And then some aren't, like players I guess one cap, maybe I can justify transferring him in. It's also hard figuring out where exactly I need to upgrade the team. I will say I made a mistake. I should have brought in Jacko. He was the finished left winger, left inside forward, who we were considering versus Diallo. Diallo does have some attributes that he beats him on, but overall Priha is just a much better player, and I should have realized that I wasn't necessarily going to have the opportunity to sign up. He went to it for $9 million, so he was expensive, but that I wasn't necessarily going to have the opportunity to sign a player like him again. And not Sekic, Priha. And I should have taken the opportunity when I had the chance. So that's a bit disappointing for me, but what can you do? I have made a speculative purchase for next year. Right there it was. I have purchased David Saucic. Yeah, don't know exactly. From a Czech club, Pribram. I'm letting him stay with his Czech club and hoping he can find playing time with them. He's played 16 with them so far, and hopefully that gets him some attention from the Czech national team. By my rules, he's not actually eligible for a work permit, so I will have to figure out what to do with him if he doesn't meet that criteria next year. But he's still just 19. He's very fast, lots of good mentals, good dribbling, first touch, passing technique. His finishing would be a little nicer, but overall I see real potential, and in particular they have my scouts have his potential ability tabbed as a full 4.5 stars with then an additional half star. So it's not like, oh well, he's 3 stars and maybe 2 more white stars. Usually those white stars are pretty illusory, while they think Saucic has a real developmental possibility. So we might have to loan him out to somewhere on the continent if he comes in next year and doesn't have any caps, but we'll figure it out. Worst case, we'll be able to sell him for a decent amount of money. Fausek had 2 assists. Good work, buddy. Good passing. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We are in all right position to contend. Our team is a very fair championship team. I would like to find upgrades, but it is hard to find upgrades because our reputation is so poor. But we're going to do the best we can, both in competing and finding players, and using all of this money that we have. We're improving our training facilities again. That's part of the problem. Is I believe training facilities do play at least a small factor in your reputation. And we started with the lowest level of training facilities because, well, obviously, and they're up to average, and we're increasing them again. But so that'll hopefully help. And another good performance in the championship will surely help and prove that we are not just a mid-table League One side. So, thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to hear from all of you, especially James, since I know he will actually reply to me. But anyone else, I'd love to talk to you too. You could hear your name mentioned in this very channel. So please like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk with you soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.